going on.
We'll call to order tonight's Committee of the Whole for the Auburn City Council meeting for October the 4th, 2022. The City Council should have the minutes from the September the 20th Committee of the Whole. Are there any additions or corrections to those minutes? If not, is there a move to approve?
Move for approval.
A motion is second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the minutes are approved. Questions on tonight's agenda for the city manager? Anyone have any questions? Okay. The city manager, is anything for us?
No, sir.
Okay. We have a move to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. We are adjourned. We'll get started at 6 o'clock. We'll call to order tonight's Auburn City Council meeting for October the 4th, 2022, with the roll call. Lindsay?
Dawson,
Here.
Dixon,
Here.
Griswold, Hovey,
Here.
Parsons,
Here.
Stevens, Taylor,
Here.
Mitten,
Here.
and
Here. Would you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. This is the first meeting of the month of October, and at this time we will recognize our Employee of the Month and our other outstanding employees. This is Mayor Ron Andrews, and we're proud to introduce you to our October Auburn City Employee of the Month. I have a memorandum here from Eric Carson, the Water Resource Management Director. It is my honor to nominate Jeremiah Logan Webster as the Employee of the Month for October 2022. Logan joined the Water Division of Water Resource Management in May of 2018 as a utility maintenance worker. Logan is responsible for the installation and repair of components within the water distribution system, such as water mains, fire hydrants, valves, meters, and service lines. Logan exhibits a strong work ethic and a positive attitude. He accepts challenges and consistently exceeds the expectations of his superiors and peers. In the past 18 months, he has been involved in several water main projects, including Bird Avenue, Mercer Circle, South Gay Street, Sanford Avenue, South College Street, and West Glen Avenue. He has proven to be a reliable and dedicated employee who makes a point to not only consistently show up for work, but also be on time and ready to go. Outside of normal working hours, he is readily available to help coworkers with emergency repairs. This past calendar year, Logan volunteered to serve on the on-call rotation for 10 of the 52 weeks. Logan promotes team unity by treating coworkers with respect and working together to resolve issues. For these reasons and many others, I would like to recognize Jeremiah Logan Webster as the October Employee of the Month. Congratulations. Today we're pleased to recognize some outstanding young men who have brought honor and attention to in a positive way to our community, and I have a resolution here that I'd like to read on behalf of them. Whereas the City Council is pleased to honor local athletic teams for their successes and for representing the Auburn community well on the local, the state, and national levels. And whereas the Auburn Anglers, a community competitive bass fishing club, competed against 216 teams from high schools across the state this summer in the Alabama Bass Nation High School State Championship at Lake Eufaula. And whereas 4 of the Anglers' 2-person teams qualified to compete in the state tournament, including Max Autry and Will Brantley, Jacob Bailey and Dylan Ingram, Wilson Bennett, Lane Ralton, Hudson Gallimore, and Spencer Grooms. And whereas each team was allowed to reel in 10 total fish over the 2-day tournament, and Hudson Gallimore and Spencer Grooms took home the championship with a total final weight of 34.77 pounds. And whereas Gallimore and Grooms advanced to the national tournament and finished 116th out of 314 teams. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Auburn, Alabama, that the council hereby recognizes and formally congratulates the Auburn Anglers for their outstanding achievements in their efforts in representing the City of Auburn. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be spread upon the minutes of this meeting and presented to Coach Adam Grooms, adopted and approved by the City of Auburn, Alabama, this 4th day of October, 2022. Congratulations, guys. We're all very proud of you. Thank you for what you do. Again, congratulations to Logan Webster for being our Employee of the Month, and all the best to Michael Oswalt as he moves into retirement. And we're proud of our young men for being the state champions with bass fishing. Under Mayor's announcements tonight, I want to recognize and thank the members of our community who recently graduated from our Citizens Academy. They gave up 7 days over the last few months to learn about our city and invest themselves in understanding how the city of Auburn works and operates. I want to thank all of the staff here at the city for making that happen and giving your time to educate those citizens and what you do and how you go about doing it. And I want to thank Allison Blankenship for taking the leadership role to make that happen. She was recognized by her students the other night as they were very thankful for the time that she had invested in this. So thank you to everybody that participated in the Citizens Academy. We have just ended 5 games in a row, and I certainly want to say thank you to our public safety professionals, particularly for enduring during that time. There are other departments in the city that have made a huge effort, Public Works, Environmental Services, because we create a lot of trash when that many people come to town. But it's been a long 5 weeks. We are glad for the ball games because they mean a lot to our community economically, but it is a lot to endure. That many in a row. There were 2 homecoming parades thrown in just for fun. So anyway, it's been a long 5 weeks. Mr. Register, I would say thank you to all of you and your staff, and I know y'all look forward to a quieter weekend this weekend, but thank you for all your men and women, what they do. Tomorrow at 7 o'clock, the new Publix in downtown Auburn will be opening, and we're very excited. This is a return to Auburn's past, to have a grocery store in the middle of downtown. This is the Auburn that I grew up in, have a number of grocery stores in downtown Auburn, and we look forward to having Publix open tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. Yesterday, we had a very special dedication across the street at Felton Little Park, where we recognize Felton Little Park's unique history. Felton Little Park was the very first municipal park in our city. Mr. Felton Little sold that property to the city of Auburn for $1 in 1948, and it has meant many things to our community over the years, and we will eventually have a nice plaque on a rock that will chronicle some of its history. But we thank Mr. Cosgrove, who is with us here tonight, for your passion and interest in making this happen, and thank everyone that joined us yesterday in recognizing that. On October the 25th, we will hold the State of the City at the Gooch Performing Arts Center at 5:30, and this is an opportunity for the city and myself to tell you the story of what's been going on in Auburn over the last 12 months and forecast what will be happening in our community in the future. We'll also recognize some outstanding individuals with the Mayor's Lamplighter Awards, and I encourage you, the event will last about an hour on Tuesday night, October the 25th. This past week, I went over to the Wesley Foundation and sat with the members of the Alabama Rural Ministry as they were raising money in their No More Shacks program. Alabama Rural Ministry does a great job all over Alabama, primarily now in East Alabama, of helping people with home repairs that can't afford to make those repairs themselves. And I appreciate their work. If you're looking for a great organization to make a contribution to, the Alabama Rural Ministry is that organization. A number of us up here have been receiving calls from our constituents about speeding in neighborhoods. This happens in Auburn from time to time. It particularly happens at the beginning of each school year. This is just my request of our community to plan well in your trips in and around the city. Know that there are more cars here this year than there probably were last year. And as you get ready to make all your appointments, give yourself a little extra time, and please slow down. We have tried to make our community as walkable as possible, and we look to improve that each and every year. And that means that there are pedestrians and other people who aren't in cars that are out and about. Going through intersections also can be very dangerous if you're impatient and not paying attention. So please be mindful of that as you go about your daily life. Tomorrow, our police officers will be across the street with a new program called Coffee with a Cop, and I commend them for taking time out of their schedule to offer this opportunity for our citizens to go and spend time and have a casual cup of coffee with the men and women that protect us, and I encourage everybody in our community to take advantage of this opportunity. This past Friday, before the LSU game, Auburn University held a ribbon-cutting grand opening celebration for the Pan-Hellenic monuments on Auburn's campus, and I commend Auburn University and the leadership of Auburn University for recognizing the African American fraternities and sororities for what they've meant to Auburn's history. And it was a great time, a great celebration, some great words of wisdom from many people in our community, many people related to the university and on the Board of Trustees and students included. and those monuments in that area is available for the public to enjoy from here forward. And our former Mayor Jan Dempsey's birthday is today, and I just want to wish Jan, who has meant so much to this community. She was our mayor for 18 years, from 1980 to 1998, and she was a big figure in our community, and a lot of the things that she started, initiated, have made Auburn what it is today, and I certainly want to I want to wish Mayor Jan Dempsey her happy birthday. All right. Anybody else from the council have anything?
Mayor, I'd
Yes,
like
sir.
to take this time to remember 29 years ago today, we lost Roger Motley, a police sergeant at the Opelika Police Department. He was gunned down in the parking lot of Walmart trying to rescue some children, and his murderers were pursued into Auburn and stopped on Wire Road, where they were taken into custody after a brief standoff. Roger was a good police officer, great police officer, but even better man, and just a wonderful person that you once you met him, couldn't help but like him. So I'd like to remember his memory today, and let know his wife and family were thinking about him still 29 years later. You just don't replace a man like Roger.
Thank you, Chief.
Then also, on a lighter note, I got a call from one of my constituents last night after hours that there was a deceased animal in the roadway. I called the city manager, and she actually had someone, and I don't know who helped her on her staff, but she can tell us.
Environmental Services, Katrina Cook, took care of it.
They came out and did that, and that's going above and beyond, and I appreciate it as a councilman, more important, I appreciate it as a citizen, know that you cared enough to send someone out there to take care of it, and the citizen was very pleased, so great job. That's what makes Auburn special, is deeds like that, so thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Katrina.
And we'll thank our on-call person. I don't know who it was, but somebody got a nice phone call, and they went out and picked it up.
Oh, so Katrina wouldn't have went.
Katrina arranged it. She's the arranger. We will give people credit, but when I hear from a council member, I'm often, especially if it's after hours and not police-related, often talking to the department head who will call it in and so on, and they'll also decide based on the magnitude of what's going on, what to do, and I appreciate my department heads, but at the end of the day, we also have a very nice person who was on call who went and did their job, also to pick up the animal.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? All right, we'll move forward with Auburn University Communications.
Hi, everyone. A pretty short report from me today. So as the mayor mentioned, we have concluded our 5 home games in a row stretch. Thank you all for your support through that. We know that it was not easy at times to stay and support every weekend, but we really appreciate it. It's good to see the stadium so full again, but enjoy some rest as we take a break from that. Students are going to be resting a little extra this week. We have fall break starting on Thursday, so also enjoy the peace and quiet around town this weekend. Next, our School of Hospitality Management has officially been named the Horst Scholl's School of Hospitality Management after one of the co-founders of the Ritz-Carlton hotel line. So that's a big deal. He's been actively engaged with the program over the last 30 years or so, but we're excited to have such a big name attached to the program. We think that's a big deal. And then lastly, the mayor touched on this as well, Auburn unveiled the National Panhellenic Council Legacy Plaza on Friday, and I really do want to encourage you to go check it out if you get a chance. It's beautifully done, and it's located right in front of the new academic classroom and laboratory complex, kind of over there by the baseball fields and the Edge Dining Hall. But it's the first physical landmark on Auburn's campus honoring a Black student organization, so that's a big deal, and I definitely encourage you to look at it if you haven't already. But that's all from me this week, so War Eagle.
Thank you. Thank you, Olivia. Have a great break. All right, this opportunity now for citizens' communications on items on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to talk to the city council about anything that's on the agenda tonight, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record, and you'll have 5 minutes to do that. Okay, seeing no one, we'll move forward with city manager's communications.
Mayor, I don't have any communications this evening. If you're ready, we can move into the consent agenda. Does any council member wish to remove an item from the consent agenda and deal with that item individually?
It's 8D6.
8D6.
D6.
Okay, 8D6. Anyone else? Okay.
All right, item 8D6 authorizes the purchase of 2 columbariums for Town Creek Cemetery and 1 columbarium for Westview Cemetery from Postal Products ICM in the amount of $41,900.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Ms. Taylor?
I just got 2 simple questions I just needed to ask. First of all, I just want to thank the cemetery board for allowing some columbarians to be in Westview Cemetery. The first question is the one in Town Creek, are those additional columbarians?
We'll have our Parks and Recreation, Becky Richardson, approach the podium, please.
Yes, the columbariums in Town Creek Cemetery are close to being filled up, except for the bottom row, which nobody seems to want to purchase. And so we're adding two there. And then we had the request for another columbarium, or a columbarium at Westview. And so we'll put one there, and there will also, it will be installed in such a way that if they are popular at Westview, we'll be able to add additional ones.
Okay, well, I just wanted to know, where would they, the one at Westview, where would it be located?
It will be, as you enter the cemetery, you know, where the handicap parking is and the bench, right behind that.
Just curious. Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments related to this item? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries. Do I have a motion to approve the balance of the consent agenda?
So moved.
So moved,
All
second.
right, have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the consent agenda carries forth. Ordinances.
Under ordinances this evening, item 9A authorizes a small cell franchise agreement with Verizon Wireless of the East LP doing business as Verizon Wireless. Unanimous consent is necessary and a public hearing is required.
I'll introduce the ordinance and ask for unanimous consent.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Does anyone on the council have a problem moving forward with a vote on this evening? Seeing and hearing none, I'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the council, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. All right, seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing. Any comments or questions from the council? Okay, Lindsay with the roll call.
Dawson,
Yes, ma'am.
Dixon,
Yes.
Hovey,
Yes, ma'am.
Parsons,
Yes.
Taylor,
Yes.
Witten,
Yes.
Anders.
Yes.
All right, I'm going to apologize to Adam in advance, just in case I chop his name, but item 10A1 is a request, or 10A is a request from Amaroff Foods LLC doing business as Mellow Mushroom for really the transfer of an outdoor cafe permit at 128 North College Street, also due to changes, you saw some alcohol license things on the consent. Our city code requires that an outdoor cafe permit be reissued, so a public hearing is required.
Move for approval.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. This time I'll open the public hearing. If you'd like to address the council, please come forward. Give your name and address for the record. Okay. We'll close the public hearing. Any discussion or questions from the council? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that motion carries.
Mayor, those are all the items of business we have for you this evening.
Okay. This time we'll open the citizens' open forum. If you'd like to address city council, please come forward and give us your name and address for the record. You'll have 3 minutes to speak to the city council, and please make all your comments to the city council.
Good evening, Susan Bolt, 1188 East University Drive. Councilman Dixon, as your term as councilman nears the end of its term, I wanted to thank you publicly for your service to this community in this capacity. I also want to thank you for your courageous stand to defend your constitutional rights, my rights, and other Auburn citizens' property rights. I know it's not been easy to weather all the evil attacks that have come your way, some even coming from your fellow council members. Excuse me. Your composure while under such attacks is admirable. While 5 of your fellow councilmen didn't care to protect constitutional rights, I hope you know that many Auburn citizens appreciate what you are doing, and we appreciate you being a strong voice for Ward 5. You are a fantastic example of courage, determination, and leadership. You have indeed been an asset to this council and the city of Auburn. I appreciate your strength, perseverance, and composure during this very public fight for property rights. You are a mighty warrior, and God loves his warriors. Again, thank you. It has been a pleasure getting to know you, and I'm proud to call you my friend. Mayor, I would also like to thank you and all the council members for your service on this council as well, even though we don't always agree. As a new council term is about to begin, I wanted to inquire, as an Auburn citizen, as to what training you and the council members receive to guide your decision-making. Because I have seen citizens' First Amendment rights, Fifth Amendment rights, and 14th Amendment rights specifically violated by this council, I am particularly interested to find out if there is any guidance or training specifically regarding the state and federal constitutions. I wanted to take this opportunity to mention that Hillsdale College has a free online course on our U.S. Constitution, and I would like to request that you consider this course becoming a part of council training. I also have taken the liberty to provide you, each of the council members, and the city manager a pocket constitution and hope that you will acquaint yourself with it. I have a few extra copies if anyone in the chamber here would like one. Again, I would love to know what training is provided for the council.
Ms. Bolt, there will be some type of orientation / training that will primarily be focused with the three new council members. The city manager has not communicated exactly the time and dates for that training, but my guess would be it's going to happen in the next 60 to 90 days.
Awesome.
Yes, ma'am.
Who do you want me to give these?
Just please drop that off with her. Yes, ma'am.
Extras in here.
The
Okay,
extras are here. I'll
just
give
want to
them
make
to
sure,
you.
no, that's fine, you
Anybody
can,
want a pocket
just want to make sure if we need something. All right.
Thank you. Who'll be next? Yes, sir.
Mayor Anders, ladies and gentlemen of the council, Herbert Walter DeMar Jr., 412 Opelika Road, Apartment 111, one of the graduates of the inaugural class of the Citizens Academy. I say that with pride, and I say that because it's true. I think it would be remiss if we didn't thank you all for the political support that is needed to allow such an academy to take place. I don't know of very many cities or jurisdictions that would allow such a Citizens Academy. I didn't do any research on it prior to it. I just went ahead and took it because sometimes we don't know what goes on here in a city or in a jurisdiction until we get a close-up look. And we'd like to thank you all for allowing that close-up look. I think the mayor in his comments at the occasion last week talked about being behind the curtain. Well, we got a chance to look behind that curtain, and it's a lot involved. And also, I would personally like to thank you, maybe a little out of order, the city manager, and also Ms. Blankenship for sort of being the shepherd mother of us all to make sure that we got to every place, that we knew what was going on, and so on and so forth. And I would also encourage any citizens listening to this meeting, because I know it's being seen and being heard, to take advantage of this when this comes up next year. And I'm very happy to say thank you for that. And finally, I know about the Auburn 2040. I would urge y'all to let us know and let us try to participate in that too, so that some of the issues such as the lady address, we can further talk about it. I mean, the citizens can, and maybe some other new ideas. And also about Felton Little Park. I had a chance to go there yesterday. I would like to thank you all for keeping that park open as the beginning of the Parks and Recreation here in Auburn. I learned a lot. I'm not a generational citizen of Auburn. I've only been here since 2006. But I learned a lot just by looking at what was going on. Mr. Cosgrove needs to get all the thanks in the world. And I look forward to the plans in the future. I understand that there's going to be an amphitheater here, and hopefully we'll know more about it during the Auburn 2040 process. I thank you.
Thank you. Glad you had a good experience. Who will be next?
Always good to have a constitution. It's cool. I guess I don't know if y'all know me or not. My name's Robert Wilkins. I'm 261 Denson Drive, Auburn, Alabama. I like to title my stuff usually, and I've got titled, I Saw the Light. Remember, I Saw the Light by Hank Williams. The last 5 weekends, my neighborhood has been very quiet. Could hear a pin drop. It was very clean. I guess I could walk across the street and it wasn't that dirty. There was no traffic, and I guess it's because of y'all maybe. Also, there were no scummy people in the neighborhood, in the conservation district. Like 2 and 3 generations of Auburn alumnus coming from AU football, or families visiting the AU campus, or a family sharing the joys of a wedding, or sadness of a funeral, or an older couple playing in a golf tournament, or sharing an equestrian competition with a young daughter, or a group of young men from Fort Benning wanting to just enjoy the nightlife in Auburn. I saw the light. I think that's how the council and the mayor spent 29 long months working on Ordinance 3288. How all of you spent so many hours per week studying other cities' short-term rental ordinance, making direct contacts with your constituents that live near an Airbnb or a VRBO, etc. Going in some short-term rentals and talking with the host, gathering all kinds of data from the city. How many complaints, the kind of complaints, traffic issues, noise complaints, trash complaints, what kind of short-term rentals caused the most issues. Thank you, council and the mayor, for such an extraordinary effort. I saw the light. I would have made over $12,000 these 5 home games, but I realized that the council and the mayor were looking after us. I do not have to pay taxes on that money. Can you believe it? Nor do the other 151 families. I saw the light. Only thing I have to deal with now is the bills that I might just, I thought I might just talk with the self-proclaimed CEO over here and get the lady in the finance department.
Mr. Wilkins, that's unnecessary.
Who's in charge of the
Completely unnecessary.
in the city entrapment program that use fake names. I haven't said anything false. Maybe we can call the creditors and use the names and pay my bills. I saw the light. Councilman Whidden became a rebel of the council in February of 2021, making an amendment for Ordinance 3288 where there would be no discrimination against any Auburn constituents, just some rules and structures. But our knight in shining armor, the Mayor Anders, came to this rescue. We were like Lancelot. He was. The mayor amended it back to the original Ordinance 3288, and it passed.
Who'll be next?
Mayor, if I may, some things I just feel like I got to speak up on. Yeah, I don't mind being attacked on this council. I got elected for that. And you can attack me day in and day out for as long as you like. It doesn't bother me. But when you step over the line and go talk about Miss Crouch and her staff, I think that's inappropriate. You didn't have to do that. You could have said what you want to say without attacking the employees. It's fine for you to attack the council. That's what we get elected for, and I respect your opinion. But I would ask you to refrain from implying that the staff is not doing something right, or Mrs. Crouch. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
I'm Steve Cosgrove, and we live, Sherry and I, at 1927 Watercress Drive in Ashton Park at North Lake. And I just want to take just a minute or so and just let you know how much I appreciate you. I really, really do. I've said that more than once, but I really mean it. I look at each of you and think of the time and the wealth of experience and heart that you dedicate to your position and for the well-being of the city of Auburn. I've been paying attention to this for about 47 and a half years, just from the back row, and that's where I prefer to be in this. Yesterday's recognition of Felton Park really was a neat culmination of a lot of effort and time, and it involved a lot of your consideration and so forth, your leadership, Ron, Megan, Becky certainly, and your staff, and others. I start mentioning people, I'm going to leave somebody out, and I don't want anybody to be offended. The last thing, I grew up in a large family, and there was never going to be anybody left out, and so I'm always worried about that. I really felt good about the participation we had yesterday. I thought it was handled in a first-class fashion. Megan and Becky, and again, Ron, Mayor Ron. You did a great job of pulling all that together in a class fashion. It's just another step along the way, but there's something, some things, some places, some people, and some events are really worth preserving. They really, really are. The memory of some people, or memory of people, but the memory of certain events and so forth and places. And yesterday's was an opportunity for a lot of citizens. I mean, there was a lady that came there. I don't mind mentioning her name. It was Elizabeth Lipscomb. She's 94 years old. And she's right there in that picture with my wife, Sherry, and I. And she's just a sweet lady. She grew up in Opelika, but she just wanted to be there and be a part of that. And there was a lot of participation with that, and a lot of smiles and so forth. But that's a reflection of the sort of opportunity that you create. You're the leadership and the managers. You're the leadership and managers, and you set the tone and the standards for these sorts of things to happen. Yes, I am passionate about that, but I'm passionate about life, whatever. And this is just one small chapter in that book. But again, I want to thank you all personally and each one of you, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, Mr. Cosgrove. Thank you for all your hard work. We appreciate it.
And hello to your sweet mother, Tommy, Chief Tommy. Thank you both.
Who will be next? Okay. Is there a move to adjourn?
So moved.
We're adjourned.